Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Tuesday with Carrie, Jemii. Today is a special show. I entitled it "I'm Pretty Too," and that is entitled after my non-for-profit "I'm Pretty Too." And so this past week or so has been very challenging, right, to say the least. And what I've come to realize is that we all were called by God to do different things. We all had, different journeys that we had to, go through to be the person that we are today, right? So I'm not going to hold you guys long tonight. And the viewers who are watching live or those who will watch this at another time. I just wanted to speak from my heart tonight and talk about why I'm Pretty Too is important. So, again, we all have our own separate journeys, but what I'm Pretty Too was birthed from was I was conversating with a mother, right? And she married a guy that I think he's from Jamaica, maybe, but he had a very, very rich complexion, rich chocolate color, right? And so when she's brown, she consider her brown or dark brown, whatever color. Everybody got a different way of measuring complexions in our culture, but she's brown, and so her daughters came out more on the father side, and they had like a real dark, beautiful hue though of color. But however, they were, as I experienced, and most dark-skinned women experience, they were, felt exiled. They felt less than. They felt teased. I mean, they felt teased. They were teased. And theirs were a situation was a little different because they were at a majority school that means that they were with majority of Caucasian kids. And so their interactions were different, but still they were being teased for having a dark hue of skin. So we were talking, and I remembering someone was encouraging me one day at a job that I had. And they were like, well, you need to think like my girlfriend thinks. She goes into a room and she owns it. And she's like, I'm pretty too. Like, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. You may be on something. So at that time, I just tabled it. It wasn't that I knew I wanted to have a nonprofit. I had already went back to grad school to work on getting a degree in not-for-profit management, but I just didn't know how I was going to, piece it together. I just knew I wanted to give back. How? I didn't know. God had not really laid out the plans at that point. But when she said it, like I said, I registered it and I just kept it. I said, I'm going to table this for another day. Fast forward, in that conversation I was having with her, I brought it up. And then it rung again in my heart. And I said, you know what? That's it. I'm going to call my organization I'm Pretty Too. And it's a strong statement. And most times when I tell somebody what the name is and they have to repeat it, I'm Pretty Too, it's already in itself affirming you. And that's the whole point of my organization, is to affirm you and your own beauty. I think nowadays, especially, I was watching The Social Dilemma. I don't know how old it is, and maybe 2 years or so old, but it talked about how suicide rates were at its highest with teenagers, because of social media and the fact that they felt like they never measured up. And it doesn't work that we have filters, we have all kind of things we can do to modify our true selves. And so now you feel like, oh my God, I'm competing with her and all this. And really, that's not really them, right? But that's not even the point. The point is they're steady trying to redefine themselves through other people's views of them, through likes and follows. Growing up, when I was being teased, mainly my teasing came from at school, on the school bus. And, it was I couldn't run from it at that point. It's like, okay, I dealt with it as best way I can. I can never say that I ever burst out in tears. I don't think I did. I think I really did smile. I think that's where my smile came from. I just continued to smile as if I was not affected by what these kids were saying, right? But when I left that school bus, I remember always feeling like, oh my God, I got to get to this porch And sometimes my sister be already at home, so she'd be outside playing music and her friends would be there. And so I was like, yes, this is it. I'm away from it. Kids don't have that pleasure anymore. When they go home, the bullying follows them, which they call cyberbullying now. It follows them. The same thing with adults. Kids are not the only people getting trolled for, they call trolling or whatever, for different things. But social media has opened us up to being judged and criticized day by day by day. And it takes a whole lot of tough skin, more than just tough skin, to deal with that. It's already that you're going to deal with, what's going on at work, or having a bad boss, or not really following your passion and your calling, but to also deal with someone else belittling you or making you feel unattractive adds a whole nother level to it. So I'm Pretty Too is about you seeking that affirmation and that confirmation within yourself. When I wrote the book, it was based on some activities that I was already doing, right? But I made sure that I named every chapter dealing with yourself, and my pillars are self-esteem and self-worth, because I want people to, when I say it, and I want them to understand, just like I say the name, I'm Pretty Too, this is about you. It's no way possible in this world that we can fit everybody's opinion of us. Somebody's going to always have something to say or want something different from you. They're going to either want you to be lighter. Oh, I wish, and people don't think colorism is real, but I'm telling you, it's so real. It's so real. And you hear people say all the time, like, oh, I never talked to a dark skinned girl, or this for a dark skinned girl, all kind of stuff. And it's just like, what? I'm just a person. And it's the same way we feel as a culture when it deals with Caucasians and, white people, whatever you want to call them. We always fought to feel like we're equal or we're a person and not less than, right? That's the same way people of darker hue have to feel in retrospect to other complexions. Now, some people haven't always had that story. I have some beautiful girlfriends in my group that God blessed me with that were dark-skinned and brown-skinned girls that they had the most confident. I mean, you couldn't say nothing to them, right? And I was able to glean from them. That's where most of my confidence started to build, was being around people who embraced their uniqueness, their brown skin. And they wasn't concerned about what nobody think. Well, they didn't show it, But today I've talked to a few of them, and it's like, no, that really wasn't my issue. Of course, people would say things that would throw them off, like, dang, you black is whatever. People think that it's okay. But I really, especially guys, it is not okay to say certain things to a woman. Don't call her out her name. Don't. I mean, even if it's not physical, it's not okay to degrade people. And it's not okay to be an adult bully. It's not, because you may think it's funny, everybody laugh, whatever, they drinking, blah, blah, blah. But that individual is going to be impacted by what you said, regardless if they act like it's not bothering them, regardless if they laughing with you at the time. When they're behind closed doors, 9 times out of 10, something's bothering them. And I know this for sure because kids are good at this as well, because in my program, I would have parents fill out a survey, right? And the survey would say, rate your child's insecurities from 1 to 10, or how you feel like self-esteem is from 1 to 10, whatever. And most of the times they're like, oh, she's great. She's all that. And she feels like she's great about herself. And that same young girl would be the first one that would fall in my arms and crying and upset and broken because she did not feel that way. But her mother didn't know it. Because as women, as people, we all can put on a facade as if we're okay, and we're really not. And I don't know why people don't want to be vulnerable, but this is also, and I'm not plugging my organization in this way, but that's just why I created it. So if you do have a daughter, whether she's dealing with self-esteem issues or not, I created I'm Pretty Too also to be that safe space for them to really get comfortable with me, get comfortable with the women that I bring into the organization, that I hand select, because I want them to be, just as impactful as myself, to open up and say, you know what, I am really dealing with something. And it takes time. Don't get me wrong. I don't have girls that come in right away and say, oh, I feel like I'm ugly. No. But after a while, after a few exercises that I purposely do, I'm able to pull back those layers and really see them for who they are inside. And I have a gift of that on my own already, of a real strong discernment. So I already know sometimes when I meet people that they're broken, that they're hurt. And you can't always say that to people, because then they'll be like, first they'll probably think you're weird, like, how you know this? Or, they'll get offended because you're able to call out something that they're trying to hide. But that gift helps me to be able to create a really strong organization for I'm Pretty Too, because I'm able to do that and really help young women. I wanted to expand this to older women. I do have something that I'm working on that I'm going to probably bring to light within the next few months or whatever. But because older women deal with this too. I have a friend whose mom still deals with being dark skinned. She doesn't like, she's very self-conscious. And again, you're not going to meet people who want to just come out and say this. They will say it to only their small circle. But people have problems with accepting themselves. And you have to ask yourself many times throughout the day, why do I care what somebody else thinks? Why? Are they going to make any other impact in your life if it's not a positive one? And when I go back to something I was saying earlier, that I tell the young girls, everybody's going to have an opinion, right? Somebody's going to say, girl, I like your, like they do it to me for just as a friend. Girl, I like your hair when you wear your hair curly. Girl, I like your hair when you wear the bob. What can I do? Divide my head in half, have curly and a bob on the other side? No, right? I can't make everybody happy at one time. And somebody may say, girl, I love when you wear color, but I may like black. So, it's like somebody's going to always have an opinion of what you should be doing, how you should be looking. And if you fall into that pitfall, that pit hole of trying to appease people, you're going to lose sight of who you really are, who God intended for you to really be. Even as a man, because men deal with being teased too and bullied too. But I guess men are just some strong individuals because they really don't show it. It does come out in relationships, and women will agree. If you've ever dated an insecure man, you will know, like, okay, something happened in his past because he's very insecure, and it plays out in different ways, whether it's, needed to be affirmed by you all the time, and you telling him he's attractive all the time because he felt unattractive, and you are the first woman that's giving him this attention. So this message is not just for women, but I know men don't call themselves pretty. So, but men you are handsome too. You are handsome too, in that you have to, it's all about self-love. I talked about self-love before. This month I talked about self-help. I talked about self-care. I talked about self-development, but none of that matters if you can't really, truly love yourself. Right. Janelle said, I'm handsome too. Correct. You can't. None of it matters. If your confidence is not really there, you could be at the top of your game at your job, but somebody says the wrong thing to you that day, and it can derail the rest of the day, the rest of the week, or it could take you out. It's people who commit suicide, literally, you guys, every single day. They're miserable. They're saying they're acting like you're happy, and people are like, well, I don't know why they did. And you won't know because most people don't want to tell you. But reach out to people. Like I said, I've been on this show. I've been doing this since December, saying that I'm a life coach. And I've asked people to, reach out to me. I haven't had a lot of people reach out, but I really, truly have a heart for helping people, and I really have a heart for making sure that people feel comfortable about themselves, because we're all unique and we're all needed. It's no color in the rainbow that you would want to take away the rainbow. It's beautiful the way it is, and its complexities. So we all need each other, just like when you go to corporate America and you feel like you need a representation from every race in order for you to really run a progressive organization. It's the same thing with people. Everyone can't look alike. Everyone can't have the same body. A lot of people deal with body image too. They feel like, oh, oh, everyone's so skinny and I'm not skinny and I'm not this. Everybody not built the same, but you can go on a diet. You know, I know for myself, you can do something to try to change your physical appearance if it's being overweight. But if you're too like, I know girls will come into my classrooms and like, I'm so tall and I get teased for being tall. I'm like, girl, models, want to be tall. Like that's a checkbox to be a model. So you already got one positive thing that if you wanted to go into modeling, you have, right? And a short girl may say, oh, I'm too short, but women got smart, or a man, I don't know who did it because I haven't looked it up, and created high heels, right? So now you can put on high heels to get the height that you want to get. So some things do got a little fix to it, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how much masking you do. You mask behind makeup, you mask behind Spanx, you mask behind high heels, you mask behind whatever you want to. If you're not true to who you really are, you are being at a disadvantage, not only to yourself, but those around you. You're disadvantaged to also God and what he created you to be, because you're not being authentic to who you are, So I have a few questions that came through that I will answer. And one was, what would you say is the greatest defense against insecurity? That's a great question. I would say the greatest defense against insecurity is building yourself, building your own security. It's an exercise that I also do, and I'm pretty too, with mirrors, right? And what I have what the girls do, I have them do two different ways of looking in the mirror. One, just looking at this in the mirror, or you looking in the mirror too as an adult at yourself. We all got something to say. How many times have you went to the mall or even with your significant other and they say, well, how does this look? Everyone wants someone else's opinion, right? So you have those opinions, and then you have your own opinions. You be like, you know what? I really don't like how this look on me. I don't like my nose. I don't like this. So I have them look in the mirror and I say, name the things that you like most about yourself. And then they name the things that they like most about themselves, etc. Then I say, what are the things that you don't really like about yourselves? And then they'll tell me, and then I'll have them affirm the opposite. Like, I love my ears. I love my nose. I love this. You have to be intentional if you're insecure about some things, intentionally loving those things, because certain things, like I said, won't change. Of course, we're in the 2021. You can go get botched up, or if you don't get botched, but you can go get your body work done. You can get your nose changed, your lips changed, whatever. But I can't stress this enough. I don't care how much you mask yourself or change yourself. If you're not really in love with yourself in the inside, none of that matters. You'll still be insecure. Because you're going to find something else you don't like. And if you follow people who've had a lot of work done to their bodies and their faces and stuff like that, they're always under the knife, because you're going to always find something that you don't like. So when do you stop? When do you draw the line with yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to embrace this about me. I'm going to love this about me. And it doesn't come because somebody else does it. That's another thing I want to say. Don't love something because somebody else loves it either. Somebody might say, oh, I love that. Oh, I love your complexion. Or I love your nose. Oh, I love this about you. Because still, that's a sense false of security for you. It's a sense false of confidence. Because if that person is removed from your life, or that person knows that you may have an insecurity about that, they're going to use that as leverage against you maybe one day and hurt you, because you gave them the ammunition, right? So you have to still love those things about you, regardless if somebody else loves those things about you, okay? I don't know why my nose keep itching, sorry. So another question, thanks, Shani, you're my number one question person. Would you say we all wear a mask to appease others more than we wear reality? Absolutely. I think that not only do we wear a mask when it comes to our physical being, and our mask with, like I said, clothes, makeup, whatever. We also, some people are just not true to their personalities. Some people, I had a friend once that said, she's like, I never was myself around you, because I'm really goofy. I'm real goofy and I love that. But I've always been like different, because, I have to be like this around Carrie. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. I said, so now you a representation. I don't even know if I want to be your friend, because I don't even know who the real you are. I would rather you be goofy. You don't know, I might be goofy. I might just be waiting on you to be goofy, So I think we all sometimes, even outside of physical, our inner person, we sometimes are not being our real selves and being reality. And so in I'm Pretty Too, I address both. I don't talk about, just I'm pretty too because of how you look, because that's very superficial. Also, it's not about just being beautiful. It's if you're a beautiful person in your heart and and how you carry yourself and how you treat others, how you look on the outside sometimes don't even matter. And I know you've met people. I know I've met many men before that I'll be like, well, he may be a little questionable, but his heart, the way he carried himself, the way he treated me made him attractive. And so attraction doesn't always come from a physical thing. It comes from someone being their true self, living in their true reality, and someone's attracted to who that person is. So I hope I answered your question, Janielle. But again, I really wanted just to come on here. I wasn't going to take up too much time just to talk about how important it is for, as a society, I think we're still going down the wrong path, that we individually accept who we are, accept how we look. And if somebody doesn't like you for some reason, they always got something to say. They're always nitpicking. They're not the right person for you. I know it's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. But the right person for you will love the flaws about you as well as the great things about you. And like I said, if it's a flaw that can be worked on, whether it's a personality flaw, whether it's like I said, with weight or something, then that person will be team up with you probably to help you work on those flaws, because we're all work in progress. God says it best in the Bible, like we're clay. We're all moldable, right? He did his best. He did his due diligence. He got you here. He's here to support you. But people around you also mold the great person that you become, right? The people that you hang around. That's why everybody, nowadays talk a lot about energy, because we're just catching on that, wait a minute, it matters who's in my circle. It matters who's around me, because they entail you become that. You become whatever's around you. So if you have bad people around you, most likely you're going to become a bad person, so it's important that you look at all aspects. But I want to keep talking to you, parents. As I'm Pretty Too is relaunching itself. We're launching it on an online platform, and it's from ages 5 to about 19, right? 18 is safe, but I am relaunching it because I feel like it's needed. I feel like we need a place, girls need a place to go that they can be vulnerable. I want to help them also redefine what really beauty is. And it's not what best filter you can put on your face. It's not, putting on makeup 10 shades lighter or 10 shades darker, whatever you feel is best. It's really about just being authentic. One thing I want to try this time that I didn't try before, and I even may try with some friends of mine. Guys always say, "Oh, I hate when you wear makeup." Oh, they don't like women to wear makeup, whatever. Now, sometimes wearing makeup is not also a bad thing. It's not that you want to hide behind it. Sometimes makeups can help highlight beauty about you, like your eyelashes, putting a mascara gives a little pop, or putting a little bit of eyeliner on your eyebrows or whatever, because your eyebrow look like somebody might have took too much hair off. It doesn't matter. But putting on makeup doesn't always mean that you're trying to hide something. So I do want to put that out there, because I wear makeup and I'm not really trying to hide anything, but I do have some decoloration that I be liking to look, one color. So, but I do want to have an exercise though, when I do have people maybe erase everything, like take off all makeup, everything, and really look at your pure self. And I wonder if a lot of people that's watching right now actually do that. Take off their mask and really look at themselves at the end of the day. Really look at yourself with no makeup. Look at yourself in the raw with not caring about other people's opinions about your personality. Like, do I really love me? I love me? It doesn't matter if my brother, my sister, my best friends, do I love me? Do I love how I think? I was talking to a guy the other day. I was talking to an intelligent, emotional intelligence ambassador, and he told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm around you," and that's so true. You don't set yourself on fire, your personality. You don't set yourself on fire, your looks, because you're trying to appease other people around you. You have to be authentic and true to who you are, and it will take you much further in your life and in whatever calling God may have for you as well. I have some few questions up here. Let me see. Building your own security, absolutely. The right person will love you, absolutely. The biggest room in the house is the room for self-improvement. Yes, everyone needs self-improvement, absolutely. Yes, take off the mask. You won't be invisible. This is true. Do you really love me? Yep, absolutely. So I appreciate you guys engaging with me and you guys listening. My friend said, I love a natural face and a bun. Yes, this is true. So, and that's true. You know, sometimes you can wear makeup when you're going to work, but sometimes if you really start taking time to be in your natural state, you may end up liking it. You may be like, you know what? Hey, this cool. This less time for me. But I do understand, you know, I worked in corporate America for years, and I do understand having a certain polished look when you go into work. So I do not disagree with that. You do want to look like you up and alert. Sometimes when you don't wear makeup, you can look like you still sleep. So sometimes wake you up sometimes. So, but being in your natural state sometimes is the most beautiful state you can be in. But I'm not gonna, like I said, this is not a long show. I hope that something that I said today to you guys that are watching and those who will watch this later resonates with you. I know I was saying something before I got a little bit distracted, that I am releasing my program, and that I want people to, if you have a young girl that you know about, or a niece, a daughter that you feel can benefit from I'm Pretty Too, I will have a link in this same video on YouTube and on my Facebook for you to sign up and get more information about how they can be a part of it. I'm calling it I'm Pretty Too Society now, because I want them to feel a part of something much bigger, that they don't just have used to be like an 8-week course I would do with young girls. And then after the 8 weeks, then they were on their own. But I realized that that's not really great. I think that the follow-up is what's needed, right? You need to have something that can kind of carry behind you, because you can come in and really impact somebody, and then you're gone. And the work that you've done can be in vain because it didn't have enough follow through. So we will have like mentorships, and I'm partnering with some other organizations that will help bring in some life skills. So I don't know, I'm from Chicago, but back in the day we had home economics and stuff like that, where we taught women and how to cook and stuff like that, being comfortable with cooking, not just because you want to be, to domesticate you, but women should know how to cook, You should. Everybody got to eat too. You got to eat, so you got to know how to cook. So we'll be teaching culinary skills and different things of that nature too. So I'm really trying to build the curriculum out to be more balanced for a young woman. So if you're watching this video and you feel like your daughter will benefit from it, please contact me. Again, I'll put the link in here, and you can register on your own. I agree with you, Miss M.N. Gray. Good skincare routines help with that as well. This is true. I love skincare. So I have too much skincare, but if you take care of your skin and your face, also take care of your body, you'll be feel better, more confident about yourself. Creating a society will allow a prior Pretty Two girls pour into the new ones. Correct. Yes. That's another thing. You hit it right on the nail. Yes. So it will create an atmosphere where older members could also pour into the younger members, and also allow them to see that they weren't the only ones. And that, because sometimes we look at someone that's confident, just like my friend who's commenting. When I look at her, she's such a beautiful girl. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Go to Tiana's page and look at her and follow her. I'm just playing, but she's a beautiful girl. But when I looked at her, her confidence was just amazing. And I'm like, how did you get here? You know, so that's true. Sometimes when you're around people who are confident in themselves and maybe have a story behind it, it encourages them. So that is also the kind of atmosphere I want to create for them to know when they look at someone who may have the same quote unquote flaw they think they have, but they've embraced it. It may help them to be more open to embracing it as well. So absolutely. Janelle said, clearly self-esteem is needed for young and old. True. For young, I'll say self-esteem is important because like I said, and I've been saying, it defines your life. If you don't have self-esteem and you're not confident in yourself, it's going to play out in every facet of your life, not just in relationships, not just in relationship with yourself, but it's going to play out at work. I remember when I didn't have self-esteem, I was going to work. I was hiding behind my clothes and I wasn't wearing what I wanted to wear. I mean, you people, and you can see this, not just for me. When people have low self-esteem and they haven't really built it as an adult, it shows. So I want everybody to know watching right now. If you think people don't know, no, they know. They might not say nothing to you. Everybody gonna just come tap you on your shoulder and say, "Hey, you got low self-esteem." No, they're not gonna say anything. They're just gonna let you live your life the way you live it. But people know when you have low self-esteem, and the damage to having low self-esteem as an adult is that you are more susceptible to people taking advantage of you. Because people, everybody's not a good person, unfortunately. We have a lot of wolf and sheep clothing, but people can smell insecurity, they can smell low self-esteem, and they will take advantage of you in your life, in relationships, and at your job. You will get passed up for promotions that you earn, and your boss will be like, you know what? They'll be all right. They'll believe in themselves anyway. And you ain't gonna say nothing. You're not gonna come in the office and say, you know what, I deserve that promotion. You're not gonna say anything because your self-esteem and your confidence just not there. So it doesn't matter if, I'm not saying that you have to have self-esteem just to be productive in relationships with other people, because it will play out with relationships with people, male and female, but it plays out, like I said, in every facet of your life. And it will be something that you can't run from it. You can't run from not having high self-esteem. And it's not something that will happen overnight. That's why I did create this book, I'm Pretty 2 workbook, because it really walks people through a day by day thing, because it's a day by day thing. And I even come back and reiterate stuff because just because I said it on day 1, you might need to hear it again on day 7. So it's a long process. And I as a person that's walked through I'm Pretty 2 steps, who's taken that journey with themselves and still on that journey with themselves, it's nothing that just happens. It just, you become more confident and start loving yourself. Like I was saying before, you start looking at those flaws that other people may have defined for you, or you define for yourself as not longer being a flaw, but just something that you learn how to maneuver with it. Sometimes I've heard people say they take their flaw and they figure a way to make it beautiful, right? And so you take something that was a negative and you make it a positive for yourself. So I don't have much more to say. I think I've said a lot. But again, I'm always open to talk to anyone who needs someone else to talk to, who doesn't know, who needs an outlet, and they feel like, they don't feel like they have self-worth. They don't feel like they have a great self-esteem and all that. I am open to talking to you, and I'm not going to charge you for that conversation. I want you to feel beautiful. I want you to feel handsome, if it's a man, and you should. I mean, the whole point of today's conversation is I'm me, pretty too. I don't have to look like you. I don't have to look like you. Don't. Everybody used to love Denzel. Don't have to look like Denzel. Everyone wants to look like Halle Berry. You don't have to look like Halle Berry. Did other women get married other than Halle Berry? Yes. Why? Because they were pretty too. Even if they're not pretty to everybody. Because everybody doesn't have to be attractive to everybody either. The people who want to be attracted to you will be attracted to you, and they're going to want your number. They're going to want to date you, and that's going to be that. Okay. So if you have any more questions for me, I'm going to go ahead and sum up tonight. Always see the beauty of God in the mirror. True. I can't emphasize that enough, that if God wanted you to look a certain way, he would have did it. And you have to really just really embrace your own beauty, and know that, again, for men, you are handsome too, but for women, definitely you are pretty too. Do not let social media back in the day was magazines. It was the Jet Beauty, it was Ebony, it was other stuff that women would look at and kind of like compare themselves to or measure themselves to. You don't need to do that. You really, and as a child, as a child to now being an adult, if you think about it, you now realize what your mother, or what I'm saying now, is true, that the people who are going to like you are going to like you. So you don't have to alter yourself to try to get attraction from one person or this person, because the right person is going to be attracted to you just because you. So again, work on your inner beauty as well. It's great to be a good person. I can't emphasize that enough. Honesty, integrity, all those qualities will definitely make you a more beautiful person on the outside. It just comes through you. Have you ever heard people say, "Wow, you're glowing," or "You got something about you"? And that's because the inside of you is so beautiful that it starts to exude out to the outer side of you. Tiana said, self-esteem is the core of setting boundaries, giving and receiving respect, and self-love, which is needed at all ages. Absolutely. And Janelle said, right, major key, walking your own majesty and natural beauty. You guys are right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in with me. I love you all. I hope to see you guys next month. And I really appreciate all the support always. Carrie Coleman, Carrie Jemii signing out. See you guys later. Bye-bye.